We go from hoops. We're talking baseball. Spring training camps open a week from today. Where do you want to start?
Yeah, well, Padres had their big fan fest, and I heard, conflicting reports about this.
The atmosphere was, quote, kind of muted.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of muted for a wide variety of reasons. Fans are obviously upset at ownership and this war in the front office. Fans are upset at general manager A.J. Preller has not been able to execute any transactions. Fans are alarmed at where the payroll is and the fact he's got so many contracts he cannot trade. I'm kind of disappointed A.J. Preller refused to meet with us in the media at FanFest, and that's a normal protocol. None of the Seidlers were at FanFest for their team.
Right.
That's not a good sign about AKA transparency, is it? All right, let me just give you a couple of quotes here. A.J. Preller spoke to the fans on the big screen. Didn't want to talk to the media who would ask realistic questions. A.J. said, "We are going to add another bat or two. We're going to add another arm or two." He says, "We have a whole season to build a championship roster." He says, "You know what I have done before. I've made deals at different points of the season. I understand all that." And last week I said, give him his space to work a deal. But the problem is, if you trade Dylan Cease or you trade Luis Ariz or you get an offer that maybe you have to take on Michael King, are you going to get equal value back for what you're taking off your roster? That to me is a big, big issue. Meanwhile, each of the players spoke briefly to the media. Yu Darvish talking about the meeting he had with Sasaki. Yu's opinion was Roki Sasaki had already made up his mind before he met with the Padres in the second go-round. Joe Musgrove said Sasaki was worn out from his world tour. He felt from talking to Sasaki through the interpreter, Sasaki knew where he was going. Manny Machado said he did not want to see this Seidler family feud go out into the public. Manny said, "I am disappointed there have been no moves yet." He said Roki seemed to be distracted when Sasaki and his people came to Machado's home for that second meeting. Michael King, who signed this one-year contract extension, says trade rumors are part of the business. I've had no extension talks with the Padres, which kind of shocks me. No, it doesn't. Who's his agent? Scott Boras. Scott Boras takes everybody to free agency. So enjoy Michael King if he's here, because he's leaving because of Scott Boras. Dylan Cease, he wants to be there, but he says this is part of baseball. And by the way, he's represented by you-know-who.
Boras.
Scott Boras. Latest rumor that broke on Saturday morning, New York Post is reporting the Mets have re-entered trade talks with the Padres for Dylan Cease. It makes an awful lot of sense. He could be one of their front-of-the-rotation guys. The Padres are asking for young minor league sensation second baseman Jet Williams and the young minor league outfielder Luis Acuna, Ronald Acuna's brother out of Atlanta. Boston has always been in the talks. They have the first baseman Tristan Casas and a pitcher who could be part of the transaction. And Fernando Tatis with the corporate statement, "We can battle as a group. We've always battled as a group." Not in the National League West, I don't think, right now with the way the roster is constructed. So, FanFest was kind of muted. Yeah, there were lots of fans there. Just didn't have the same vibe. Your reaction. You're a fan, season ticket holder, fanatical. Go ahead. Give me a response.
Well, my buddy Aztec Mike was there, and he was saying it was like a funeral, as far as the energy. Excuse me. But, in previous years, I've gone to FanFest and to be out there, like in the park when you got Jesse Agler, out there with Preller and Schultz. And remember they had the Fab Four there that one year, man, the energy was so great, so we so badly want a winner here. But it's just, to me, this reeks of a lack of transparency. If the Seidlers weren't there, you could tell that the players, when they spoke to the media, that they had been coached up a bit,
refrained.
Yeah, exactly. So it makes me wonder, like it must have been earlier in the week when everyone got into town, they probably all huddled into a meeting room and said, "All right, guys, this is what's going on. And this is our line. These are your talking points for FanFest." Because none of them were critical or upset. They were just like very, arm's length to the whole thing. it felt very impersonal, almost very corporate.
My word, muted.
Muted, yeah, that works. Yeah, muted works.
Okay, you're a Padre fan. Jump on board. Fans forum chat box is open. Well, that